Hello friends, it is a rainy, but it's not cold, we'll just pretend it's cold, but it is a rainy, drizzly weekend afternoon here, and because fall is on its way, fall is here. By the time you see this, yes, fall is here. So I'm making a big hearty pot of large family, of course, Instant Pot beef stew. So here's my beef stew meat. This is from the pasture-raised cow that I bought. This stew meat is in nice vacuum sealed packages, which I really appreciate. But of course, whenever you pull frozen meat from the freezer, even though you can cook from frozen in the Instant Pot, I still have to get it out of its packages. So I followed I believe it's the USDA or whoever people of authority who write these food safety guidelines. One of the ways to safely defrost items can be in a bowl of cold water for no more than 30 minutes. After that, you have to change the water out. So my stew meat has been in here for right at about 30 minutes. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 4 tablespoons of this grass-fed Kerrygold butter, sauteing in the Instant Pot, and then I don't even have my onions sitting out yet. Then we're going to saute that onion first, and then we'll add the meat. So then if you are new to the Instant Pot, there is a saute setting, and that allows you to add in different vegetables or meats or whatever you want to saute before you cook it. There's the butter going, and then I'm just going to stir up those onions. Now, I'm not going to make this beef stew a true like keto, super low carb stew, but it is easily adaptable because whenever I have mine, I don't have to put big chunks of potato and a whole lot of carrots in it. I can just have a lot of the meat and the onion and the broth. But if you wanted to make a true keto or trim healthy mama version of this stew, you'd look for more root vegetables. So basically, leave the potatoes out, but you can use radishes. Those cook up and have the same texture, and you can still do some carrots. You can do some zucchini. You can do whatever seasonal vegetables you have available to you now. So we're waiting on that onion. I'm gonna go ahead and work on prepping these potatoes and carrots. I actually didn't get too far with the carrots because now the onions are done, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain the water from this stew meat. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this over. I'm gonna get this sauteing in the Instant Pot. So here is how things are looking. I ended up fitting about 3 pounds of the beef stew actual meat in here, letting that sit and saute, stirring it every 20 seconds or so if you want to be precise. I've got a little bit of the meat that looks to be a little over 1 pound or so left. When this stew is done though, I will cook that up separate and have that on salad or something good this week. There's our carrots all diced up. That again is a whole pound. And so then over here, here's how our meat and onions were looking. And I'm just gonna leave it on the saute mode for right now. That just kind of heats everything up. We're gonna get the spices in. What I'm doing is just a teaspoon of basil, teaspoon of thyme, teaspoon of sage, a tablespoon of parsley, because I always like to see those big parsley flakes floating around in a good stew. 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Also, I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt. I know some of you all ask me about salt and pepper. I don't always note that because I feel like that's just based on personal taste, but that's what I'm doing in this recipe. Here is how things are looking. Each of these little jars is 8 ounces. So these are 4 jars, the equivalent of 4 cups of homemade pasture-raised beef bone broth, and I'm going to put this in the Instant Pot now. If you don't have homemade bone beef broth, don't worry. It just happens to be something new I'm working on. Anywho, I'm going to put in 4 cups, but you put in 4 cups of whatever beef broth you have on hand. I did bone broth last week. I think I can maybe 12 jars of it, besides what I used in some cabbage soup I was doing. I am going to go ahead and also add in 4 cups of water because I want a lot of additional broth made in this stew, and I am not adding in cornstarch or any other thickeners. It is going to be chunky and lovely and all kinds of wholesome goodness here in about 20 minutes once it reaches pressure. Yay! So you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do the meat/stew button for 35 minutes or do manual for 35 minutes. And I just tend to do a lot of things on manual. I think it's kind of 6 one way, half dozen another. So there you go, 35 minutes. We're gonna have lovely beef stew. A lot of you like to know what Travis is doing when I'm making videos and doing things. So I'm gonna show you what Mr. Travis is doing right now. So you may not be able to hear me, but he's been, we've been cutting down trees and just beautifying at least about the acre we have behind our house. This giant rock was under this dirt, sticking up just a little, and Hello, Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis and Zion have worked very carefully and gotten this out of the ground. Let me try to show you how big it is. Woo! Okay, so we got this big thing, and then there's my foot in comparison. Look at that, it's mammoth. Travis cares about you guys. He wanted me to show you his rock collection. So these are the rocks that he's been digging up. He started all the way up here. They're a little property marker. I'm gonna get you and Daniel in a bubble bath. You go wash your hands real quick and I'll give you a few, okay?
I already did.
You already did wash your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get them bubble bath in here while we wait on dinner. But I had a red pepper, a yellow pepper. What color do you want, Amelia?
All good.
You want one of each, okay.
I like all the kind.
Yeah, they're real good. Did you have fun outside?
Yeah.
What are some things you were doing?
Mommy, do you have green peppers?
I don't. I only have red, orange, and yellow. They're good though. Yummy, yummy. We have 1 minute left on this Instant Pot. Then I'm gonna let it do a natural release. So it'll take 10 minutes or so until it's truly to the point wherever we can open the lid. I wanted to tell you though, if you are a mama who doesn't have an Instant Pot or a GoWise or any other brand of electric pressure cooker, you can still make this awesome and hearty large family style beef stew. All you need to do is do it in your slow cooker. So you would just saute your onions and your stew meat on the stove top, then add that along with all the other ingredients that I listed and load that into your 8-quart slow cooker and then cook it on low for up to 8 hours and it should be voila, perfect. And then what I did with that, about almost a pound of stew meat that I wasn't gonna put in my Instant Pot, the reason I wasn't doing that is because I have so many people who follow my recipes exactly, and I just didn't want to lead anyone to fill their pot too full. So I thought I would hold off, because honestly for my family I would have done 4 pounds of meat. So that extra pound I just did in this pot, if I don't steam up my camera, and then once it was done, I cooked it with about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. Then once it was done, I added in 2 more cups of water just to make some broth there. And then I could add that to our stew once it's done. Okay guys, so now we're gonna take the lid off and give this a look. I did already make sure the pressure was released and twist it, so I can just pull it off. Here we go. Oh, it's looking so lovely. And it smells so good. So Travis and Zion are still working outside. I'm going to serve the kids around the counter. And we're going to have this hearty beef stew. And then we have these various pepper strips. So I'll let them have, so they'll all have some peppers also. And here's how I did mine. You mamas following keto or trim healthy mama. This is a whole lot of broth, a whole lot of the big meat chunks, and I have very few little carrot shavings in there and maybe 5 little potato cubes. So there you go. The recipe will be over on largefamilytable.com, and Benjamin's saying goodbye. Teaspoon of basil, teaspoon,